Well, hi again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football. And this is our 2026 NFL Draft Prospect Show featuring Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker out of the University of Texas. Here's a young man. He's 6'2", just under 240 pounds. He can fly. He can run around. Very aggressive. He's a tackler. He's a hitting machine in so many different ways. I know Vincent's going to have 100 different guys that he's going to say, he reminds me of this guy, he reminds me of that guy. I'm just thinking, here's a kid from Denton, Texas, wins a state championship early in high school. He's on the track team. He can run the 440. One of the relay races, that's not easy to do. I've had to do it once, and I still have the monkey on my back from doing that. But his 40 time at the combine was tops amongst linebackers. He's up there with the bench, and all the other things around that it requires speed, athleticism. Anthony Hill has been there, a University of Texas star and a stud, and he stayed home. One of the things I'm going to compare him to is back in the old school. Now I'm dating myself here, but the original Mr. Falcon was Tommy Nobis, and this is a guy that could do a little bit of everything. He was an All-American as a guard, and he was also a great linebacker. He ended up playing 15 years in the National Football League. Even though he was hurt and beat up in so many different ways, by the time he was done, he was still a fantastic linebacker. Let's find out what the experts have to say. Vincent, we'll start with you. From Texas, stayed in Texas. He's a Longhorn, true and true. The eyes of Texas are upon Anthony Hill. What do your eyes tell you about this young man?
Bevo, he played in 40 career games. The production was off the charts, 249 tackles, 31 tackles for loss. He also can rush the passer, 17 sacks, 13 quarterback hits, 8 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions, 4 pass breakups. So what you're getting is an athletic linebacker that's got great size, that can run, can do it all. And before we came on, we was talking about a pre-show meeting, and I don't want to go old school because I don't want to lose everybody, but everybody from down the south where I'm from, like Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama, especially out of the Mobile area, they remember this linebacker that really set the tone for all these athletic linebackers coming in the league. He played with Walter Payton at Jackson State, Robert Brazile, nicknamed Dr. Doom, Hall of Famer. And I tell you, this guy reminds me a lot of him. Robert Brazile could do it all. Cover, rush the passer, had great instincts. That's why I call Anthony Hill coming into this draft. I'm going to call him Dr. Doom Toon Robert Brazile. And what you like about him, he can react. He can rush the passer. And I'm going to say this. If you go to that Mississippi State game film this year when Texas was down by 2 touchdowns, everybody was saying, oh, Arch Manning's not playing that well today. Anthony Hill made 2 big plays. And you know what? I think he had 3 sacks in that game. He had a forced fumble. He had an interception. Clearly, at times this year for the University of Texas, he was the best player on the field for them. Hands down, period. Go back and look at the game film. But again, I like to give kudos to Mr. Clinkscales because he's brought the heat tonight. We're talking about some good football players that's going to make an impact in the National Football League. Back to you, Mr. LeBel.
Well, he's got some Tennessee orange right now, but I guess the burnt orange to Texas, it doesn't quite match. I'm going to say it. We were trying to get that for you, Joey, but I know what you're talking about. That's Tennessee orange. That is not Texas. But you know what?
Without question.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I said without question.
he ran a great 40. Is that enough? I mean, he's a very aggressive guy. There's some things that he does that might be over aggressive, but his speed obviously is a critical factor. Bench was a little bit low at the combine, but at least he did it. There are a lot of guys that didn't. And if you want to do some extra at his pro day and get a couple extra reps, maybe that might be of assistance. But what sticks out in your mind's eye, and why is he so impressive to you, Anthony Hill?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. If he were playing at Tennessee, he would have been the best linebacker and maybe defensive player for sure. This guy's a really good football player. He's athletic. And sometimes you see linebackers that were former safeties, like the kid at Ohio State we talked about a few weeks ago, Sonny Styles, who came in as a safety. I'm not sure this guy did that, but this guy's a phenomenal athlete. And you can see the numbers that you talked about. At the combine, he was 6'2", 238, arm length of 32 3/8, hand of 9 5/8. He ran a 4.51, and I'm sure he'll get faster. But you watch him on tape; he plays plenty fast enough. So whatever the numbers are, they are. He had a vertical jump of 37 and a broad jump of 10.5, and he did 21 on the bench. But those explosive numbers in the vertical jump and in the vertical jump in the bench press, you see that on tape. You see the hip explosion. You see the quick change of direction. You see the hand pop. You see when he's engaged in blockers, his ability to get off and run laterally or run down the field to the ball. Excuse me. He's an off-ball linebacker, so you see him drop in coverage at times. I mean, he's had, I saw a couple interceptions this year in coverage where, he dropped and he was in the right spot and the ball came his way. He's got really good hands. So the things you like to see in your middle linebacker or your weak side linebacker, he's able to do. And the reason why I mentioned weak side linebacker is the fact that they line him up on the edge at times. And again, he's got 17 career sacks. You can see the speed off the edge. You can see his ability to dip and bend off the edge and get to the quarterback. He has a burst. He has a short burst to the quarterback. He has a short burst laterally when he's going to make tackles. You see his ability to drop his hips and shoot his guns, as I like to say. And he's violent when he gets to the ball carry, sometimes with his hand and knock it out, or sometimes just on impact to make the ball carrier feel his power. So this linebacker, we've talked about some guys. This is one of the guys I really like. And this guy is a 3-down linebacker. Once he becomes a starter, he probably won't come off the field unless he's in a rotation, because this guy has the tools and the traits to be a full-time linebacker and on the field all the time.
Yeah, and Vincent, just a highlight reel ready to go. I mean, your NFL films used to have all of these great hits, and they don't show it anymore because moms are worried that their kids are going to get hurt. And Terry Bradshaw said it this way many years ago. He was at a banquet and was asked, Terry, mother says, I'm worried that my son is going to get hurt if he plays. What do you have to say about that? He goes, oh, don't worry about that, Mom. The injury rate's 100%. He's going to get hurt. You got to deal with it. That's just part of the game. It wasn't the right answer, but it was a true answer. But this guy puts a hurt on people, Vincent. And from the time that he went to Texas, now he didn't start as a freshman, but he saw the field a little bit. By the middle of that freshman year, he was in the lineup. He was just good enough at the freshman level to be able to play with the varsity and the big boys, so to speak. He earned his way onto the field in so many different ways, and he's kept that going. What else does Anthony Hill do in your mind's eye that really sticks out to complement what Joey was saying, that this is a 4-down guy? He's not coming off the field, right? He's going to play regardless. Short yardage, goal line, first, second, third down, special teams. He's just one of those guys that's going to be a valuable asset to whatever club he goes to.
Well, I mean, it's plain and simple. Physical tools. Andre Tippett, LT. He can rush the passer. All the great attributes we just talked about. The guy can also be an outstanding pass rusher. That's what I'm looking at. 17 sacks. We bring that up again. Joy brought it up. I bring it up again. 13 quarterback hits. A guy that can probably run down the seam with a tight end. Ain't no more I have to say. The mic has dropped. The eyes of Texas. His physical tools are A plus grades. And that's all we got to say about it. And then he played at a school that you brought up, Mr. LeBel, a guy that you played with the Falcons, that it's Falcon Roy, the Tommy Nobles, who did everything in the 60s for the Falcons. A similar player, probably more athletic, but that's what Anthony Hill brings to the table out of the University of Texas. Go Horns, Bevo.
Well, a lot there that you would think, well, gosh, he's going to be the first player taken off the board. There's a couple of things he needs to work on. Obviously, man-to-man coverage, when he's covering either a tight end or a back of the backfield, or maybe an inside slot receiver that goes over the middle. What are some of the things that he needs to work on, Joey? Does he tackle too high? Or are there some things that you see now on film that can be corrected by a linebacker or a defensive coordinator to where you're going to get the real deal? He's needs a little fine tuning, but he comes ready to go with a lot more skill set and talent than some of the other guys that we've talked about.
Yeah, of course. They all need to get better at playing a little lower, and he could do that at times, especially once he's engaged with blockers. Now, he gets off blocks pretty well for a guy his size. Could he cover backs better? Of course, they can all do that. I mean, that's part of going from the college level to the NFL level. It's a little different brand of football, so he'll get better at that. But the thing he excels at a little bit, and I'm going to put him in a category under the linebacker at Ohio State, who will probably be the first linebacker taken. That's the Reese kid, I believe. Arvell, is that his last name? Reese?
Yes,
Arvell.
sir. Yes, sir.
They have a similar skill set. Arvell's probably a little faster and certainly taller, but this guy has more production. I mean, if we're being honest, the last 6 games of the year, and you know, the scouts, the NFL like to compare Reese to Micah Parsons because, you know, same position, off ball, can do a lot. You know, in the NFL, they probably at some point put his hand in the dirt. But if we're being completely honest, the last 6 games of Ohio State's season, that kid didn't have a sack. Okay, this kid, you know, has 17 career sacks. Okay, so they're going to line him up, you know, at times, and he's going to rush the passer because he's shown the ability to do that. He's shown the ability to beat tackles on the edge, get around. And again, if he's 238 now, if he ends up being 245, they're certainly going to use him not only in space, but hey, people make money rushing the passer. The more people you have rushing the passer to get the quarterback off the spot, the better you are. And that's one of this kid's strong suits, is his ability to get at the quarterback. So, and again, those numbers, you watch him play, and the numbers back it up. I mean, the vertical jump, the broad jumps. So he's got hip explosion, and you can see it on tape. So, again, the things he can't do, it's up to the coaching staff to put him in position to do the things he can do really well. And again, rushing the passer is one of them, playing in space, his physicality on contact, all those things work in this kid's favor.
Joey, I'm a see ball, hit ball guy when it comes to baseball. There are a lot of things that Anthony can do. I just get to the quarterback. I don't have this great move or anything, but I get through the guard or the center when I go through the middle, or if I line up on the outside. I see ball, I get ball. And we've talked about his numbers. David Bailey, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles. All 3 of those are 6'4" or 6'5". He's 6'2". Is there a detriment of only being 6'2", or does it? It doesn't matter because he's still getting the quarterback. He's making tackles, and he's very aggressive with what he does. Is the size going to be a determining factor that ranks him a little bit lower? He'll still maybe a first rounder or maybe the 5th linebacker taken, depending on who goes in terms of the linebacker slots. There are going to be some defensive ends and edge rushers and quarterbacks and some receivers that are going to go first and offensive tackles. But when they get to the linebackers, is there a way for him to be able to move up the food chain?
Well, so let me give you an example. So, like between this kid and the Texas Tech kid, this kid is an off-ball linebacker. That kid basically, I mean, he plays weak side backer and he rushes the passer. Yeah. But really, most teams will have him just really rushing the pass because that's the best thing he does. This guy has a versatility to him that kid doesn't have. This kid has made calls being an off-ball linebacker as a Mike and as a Will, and so the versatility that this guy has. If you're looking for a more versatile guy in linebacker, this will be the guy. But again, I mean, you get paid to rush the passer, and the kid from Texas Tech will go higher because he's made a living of doing that at both Stanford and at Texas Tech. But the thing you like about this kid is he can do a lot of different jobs. So I'm not concerned with the fact that he's only 6'2", because his arm length is, 32 and a half. There aren't the longest, but we aren't talking about, the 2 defensive ends at Miami who both arm length were under 31. So we're talking about kids that this guy does have some length to him, and length is more important than height. Yeah. So if you have a guy that's when we're talking offensive line play, we're talking a guy that's 6'4" and he's got 33 and a half, 34 inch arms, and that's what you're looking for. So you're looking for guys that have length, because length can equate to power. Not always, but it can equate to power and keeping guys off your center mass. Sure. But as a rusher, this guy shows his ability to use his hand. When blockers come out, when he's playing middle linebacker, you can see him physically use his hands, lock those guys out, throw them, and start going to the ball. So I'm not super concerned about the 6'2". I'd be more concerned if the arm length was 30 and a half or 31.
And Does he knock people out? Does he separate them from the ball? And can he make tackles? And, does he get you off the field on third down with a big play here and there? He's done all of those. I played with Jesse Tuggle in Atlanta, an undersized, smaller, non-recruited guy out of college that ended up playing for 15 years because he was just stinking pretty good, and he made the team and he made the Pro Bowl as well. So there's different ways of, looking at the size and the speed and all that, who are you going to be on my team? Are you going to be a Jesse Tuggle type guy, or are you going to be a guy that sits on the bench? And I see Anthony Hill being a guy that's going to play for a very long time. He can do a lot of things that are going to help your club. Final thoughts, Vincent. Give me your perspective here on Anthony Hill, linebacker out of Texas.
All I know is a young man is a pretty good football player out of University of Texas. I got a nickname for him, Read and React. That's why he had 31 tackles, 0.5 tackles for loss in his career. Outstanding football player that I'll be very, very surprised if he don't make a stand in the National Football League once he gets there. Back to you, Mr. LeBel.
Well, he's listed as the number 5 linebacker, but when you look at David Bailey, who's also considered an edge rusher, Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles are in the top 3, both out of Ohio State. They're 6'4", 6'5", respectively. And then you got C.J. Allen. Anthony Hill's right there. And I guess maybe if a pro day, he gets one final chance, Joey, to impress somebody and might do it. He may end up moving up in front of somebody because he's certainly shown with all of his tape, he's made an impression on all 3 of us. So this guy's a player, and he can certainly do so. And I just think the future is very bright for this young man. Final thoughts from you, Joey?
No, I really like this guy. I think he'll probably be – I would take him ahead of C.J. Allen because I think the versatility and the speed is a little more. But, it depends on what the other guys – it depends on what you're looking for. I expect the other guys to go pretty high. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if those other 3 guys didn't all go in the top 10. I would not be surprised at all if those other 3 linebackers didn't go in the top 10. So then this guy could be the 4th guy, and we're talking, in the late teens or 20s, just whenever the next team needs a linebacker / pass rusher. So I expect this guy, in my mind, to be the 4th linebacker taken off the board.
Yeah, very competitive this year, and a lot of defensive players that should be in the top 10 or at least your top 20. And how that gets sorted out, well, we'll let Mel Kiper and everybody else figure it out. But we've got our perspective as well. And we appreciate you being a part of the show, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to 100 Yards of Football. This has been our 2026 NFL Draft Prospect Show with Anthony Hill, Jr., linebacker out of the University of Texas. Go Horns. And we've enjoyed getting to talk about him and so many of the other players that we will be visiting with and looking at prior to the NFL Draft. And we appreciate you tuning in. And especially if you like the show, please tell a friend and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. It helps us grow and allows us to do this in a manner where we get to grow and be a part of your life and some of your friends too, that you can use this information. So we are grateful for it. We want to thank you for tuning in, everybody. We hope you have a fantastic